Good morning, guys. MWUSA, Season 3, Episode 18. And I'm off for my day today. Last night, or yesterday, it was above freezing most of the day. A lot of the snow melted. But then at night, the worst thing that could happen, the snow had melted and the roads were wet. And then it went below freezing, causing the roads to freeze. And then on top of that, freezing rain. So woke up this morning to a mess. Right now it's just above, well, it's exactly freezing, it looks like. So kind of a dangerous time to drive. Schools were delayed or canceled for the most part in our area. Like I had said yesterday, we had our annual holiday dinner that was delayed in December, and it was moved to today, and it was canceled. It was supposed to be lunch today instead. That was canceled because of the weather and moved a few weeks. So this morning I have one meeting with the team, and I'm wondering if that's canceled or not. I asked my manager this morning already, and surprisingly he answered me this early saying that he doesn't know because it's not his meeting, it's the director's meeting. So there's a good chance that it's not going to be canceled. So that'll be at 10 o'clock. And then I have two meetings this afternoon, one long and one short. So another hour and a half there. And it happens to be like my prime time. I don't like having meetings at 2 o'clock. After 3 is better for me because at that point I'm usually either wrapped up or wrapping up at the casinos and starting to head toward home. Then I don't mind wasting an hour and a half in the car because I'll be driving that hour and a half anyway. But unfortunately, that's when those meetings are. So right now it looks like about 8 hours of driving and about 4 hours of play today, unfortunately. We're going to see what we can do with that. I do what I have to do. Right now I am heading off to my first casino. I'm still 2 hours away right now. I'll hop in there. I should have about 15 to 20 minutes in there before my meeting, and then I'll do the meeting in the car on the way to the next casino. Now, for some reason, I hear that that meeting is canceled. Then I'll spend a lot longer in that first casino and then move on to the next spot. So it's still kind of up in the air, but we have a basic idea of which 5 casinos we're going to hit today, and I'll be back to update you after I go to my first one. Alright guys, I'm back. Still on my way to the casino, still about 20 minutes away from the casino. And I can tell you the first couple hours of the trip have been exhausting. It's been bouncing around between 32 and 34 degrees the whole time. The roads have been slick, turns have been scary, bridges have been slippery. So just continuing on, trying to keep the car in a straight line here and slow down around turns, pick my foot up off the gas on bridges and stuff to kind of let it grip the ground a little bit better. But so far, thankfully, everything is okay. Like I said, it's just been exhausting. So we're going to get to the first place here soon, and the plan is just to make a quick sweep and get back to the car. It looks like our meeting still has not been canceled. I'm going to double check it here right now, and let's see, it still has not been canceled. So I'm going to hop in and out of this casino, and I'll be back to the car and figure out what to do from there. So I'll be back shortly. Alright guys, I'm back. I wish I could say everything went according to schedule. I wish I could say I was only in there for 15 minutes. I wish I could say I had a big win. I wish I could say I went to my meeting, but none of those things happened. I go in there, first machine I play, I'm down about $50. No big deal. Walk around, I see a couple of maybes, but not great machines. And I said, okay, this one I'll come back to, that one I'll come back to. Ran through the whole deal, and I'm down about $200. So I go to these machines, and they're in position for the most part. One of them was $20 a spin. It was definitely in a decent spot. The other one was in a pretty good spot at about $9 a spin, and another one at 4, and another one at 6, and so on and so on. And I went and played the first one. That one was $9 a spin. I play, and I hit it for $1,042. And at that point, I'm down about $1,500 after hitting it. So I move on, play another machine, also about the same amount per spin. Hit that one for $500, and at that point, I'm a little bit closer, but not much, to getting back to even. Play another machine, and that one drains me like crazy. At this point, I'm down $1,800, not feeling great. Go back to this $20 machine, play that. I hit a $500 hit on it. I hit a $1,400 hit on it. I hit a $450 hit on it. I hit a $9 hit on it. And with all that play, everything I did, I ended up leaving down $1,200. I ran about, I have to double check it, but I think I ran $11,000 through these machines, and just things just didn't work out. So I mean, I really couldn't do much more. I did everything that I thought was right, but it's going to be one of those days, I can tell you already. So I get in my car, I'm leaving. I'm like, well, at least the weather's probably better. I've been in here all this time. I ended up skipping the meeting. I had a decent excuse, and it was accepted. I missed the meeting. I go out to the car. I'm like, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. I'm sure the weather is better. No, the weather is the same. It's a little bit, slightly warmer, but still pretty bad weather, and it's raining. I think I may be out of the woods as far as ice right now. Probably still some slick spots, but it's going to be mostly rain, I think, for a while. So at this point, I'm moving on. I'm way behind schedule. I should be in a meeting during this drive, and instead I'm actually wasting this hour. So it's all right. Take a deep breath, and we'll start fresh at the next spot. So right now, it was a fight to get, a $9,000 week. Now we're going to be fighting just to get a $5,000 week. So we'll see what happens. I'll be back and update you. All right, real quick here. I'm adding this later on. I said I had a $9 hit. It was a $900 hit. At my low point there, I was down about $3,400. So even a $900 hit is nice, but when you expect it and you expect more, then it's not so great. But it was 900, not 9. All right, guys, I am back. So I go into that place and go to blackjack first. Walked back in there, and there was a $50 table that was available. Sit down and start playing. I'm treading water for a little while, maybe 10 minutes or so, and I've got a running -9 at the beginning of a shoe. That's the only $50 table. The other ones are 100 and higher. So I play on, and a girl comes to the table and asks me if it's okay to play. I said, sure, sit down. So she sits down, starts playing. She's playing the side bet. Then she asks me if I mind if she played it on my hand too. I said, no, go ahead. And there was one point where she was doing really poorly on the side bet, and I ended up hitting a 12 against a 4, and turns the shoe around for her, so to speak, and she starts winning on the side bet, and she even has a nice, like, I don't know, $300 or $400 win on it, and she ends up giving me a quarter for it, and she ends up taking off from there. She bought in for like 500. She got up to like 2,000, and then she left down about 2,000. So just shows you how great those side bets are. You're either on or off with them, and the longer you're there, obviously, it's going to catch up with you, and you're going to lose. So as far as my play, when she got to the table, things started picking up for me. I started winning, and I had a shoe where I was like 2/3 of the way through the shoe, and I was spreading from $50 to $500. I had a true 3 with about a deck and a half to go, and I was ahead about 1,300 at that point. And by the time the shoe ended, I was down 900. So that didn't go very well. Kept on playing after she was gone, after she ran out of money and left, and things did turn around. I did end up with a couple strong shoes count wise, and I was able to make a little bit of money here and there and slowly edge my way back. And when I ended the last shoe, I was ahead $1,132.50. So $1,132.50 on the blackjack. And then on my way out, I did play some slots, only a couple short plays on machines, and ended up ahead $18. On those, I was able to cash out some chips, so that's good too. So I'm going home with chips still, but cashed out a lot of chips, so that was helpful. So we got back to almost even. I think we're down like $60 now for the day after that big roller coaster ride. This morning I was down over 3,000, like 34, 33, 3,400. Well, it had to be over 3,400 at one point. So glad to be where I am right now. Unfortunately, timing wise, that took a lot longer than expected, and that cut into a lot of my play time. So right now I only have about half an hour, or I will have about half an hour before my next meeting by the time I arrive at the next casino. So probably not going to play any blackjack, but I should look around at the slots. I'll come out to the car. It'll be an hour and a half in the car. So I was hoping that I would have hit a couple casinos, and if things were going really well, then I could make a decision whether to stay in town or not, but it looks like I'm going to stay. So I'm going to go in for 30 minutes, then come out to the car for about an hour and a half. Temperature has risen to 36 degrees, and now we have a soupy, sloppy mess outside, and I don't know what the weather is going to be like in this area. That may be a factor in what I do as well, because if it's going to drop drastically, no. So the high for the day is 36, the low is 34, but it looks like it's going to rain for about 3 more hours. So not a big deal. I can handle that. Let me check the weather at home, and it looks like it's going to be above freezing the whole day too. So no excuse. I don't have to go home. Everything going the right way right now, and hopefully we add to our winnings. I'll be back shortly. All right, guys, I am back. Unfortunately, I have to walk and talk at the same time because I'm gonna be late for a meeting here. So running back to my car, I went in and played blackjack, and I said, I looked at the first few slot machines and didn't see anything, and I thought, well, I have just enough time to play one shoe and see what happens. And so I sat down and just played one shoe all the way through, and at the end of the shoe I was ahead 1,100. So that all worked out. And then on my way out, I gave back $59 on slots, but that's not a big deal. Right now I am just getting back to my car, gonna get this meeting started up, and hopefully this meeting is quick, because there is a possibility, if this meeting is only about 20 minutes long or so, that I may be able to get back in there and do something else before moving on to the next spot. So anything is possible. Right now there's a small window that I may be able to go back in there and play some more blackjack or play some more slots before I leave. So right now I'm just logging into my work computer, gonna get started on this meeting. And I mean, really, it happened so quickly. Everything was like, sit down, the count went up, I raised my bet 100, 150, 200, 300, and then shoe ended, and I was happy. It looked good. It looked like what a normal ploppy would do as far as raising when they won, and everything just happened to work out perfectly. So one good thing that happened to fall on our side here today. Unfortunately, things have been kind of up and down lately, but gonna get in on this meeting right now, and I'll be back to update you shortly. All right, guys, adding this later on. So I did go into the meeting, but nobody was there. So I start driving to the next casino, and I wait for 5 minutes. Nobody's in the meeting, so I get out of the meeting. Then I get a message 5 minutes later, are you going to get in the meeting? So by that point, I was almost to the next place because it's really close by. I hop in that meeting. It's a quick meeting, and then from there is where I pick up here, where I go into the casino for a half hour between meetings. All right, guys, I am back. So let's see what happened here. I went to the next casino. I went in, played a little bit of blackjack, forgetting, of course, that I had a meeting in a half an hour. So I go in, I'm playing blackjack. I'm just, I looked at the slots on my way in, all happy and taking my time. And then I look at the clock, and I've got 5 minutes to get to the car for my meeting. So I have to color up and cash out and run to the car to do my meeting. I get to my car, and the meeting lasts for about half an hour or so. And I take care of the meeting. I go back in and look around a little bit more. Didn't really find much different, and ended up leaving the casino. And I feel like I kind of wasted a little bit of time. That during the meeting I probably should have moved on to the next casino. Instead, I ended up staying here and not making a lot of money. As far as the blackjack, I spread from 50 to 300 and ended ahead $135. The low was minus 700, the high was plus 450, and like I said, plus 135 was the net. And then played a few slots also and ended ahead $43. So not really much happening there. Unfortunately, I feel terrible about it, but by the time I got back in after the meetings, the blackjack table was busy, so I decided just to leave. So I think we ended up with an okay day anyway. I lost $1,200 to first place, made back about $1,200 at the second place, made $1,200 at the third place, interestingly enough, and almost $200 at the fourth place. So probably ahead about $1,400 for the day. Not the way I would have liked to do it, but right now I am going to move on. I have another place on my schedule. Time is very short. I got to call home and find out what's going on. Also, either way, I have to head this direction, but I did get a call about my car, and roll your eyes. I see you there rolling your eyes. They got the part in. They put the part in the car, and it works fine. It's running a little bit rough. They're not positive about the reason for it, so just to be safe, they're going to replace the head gasket just in case, and they're not going to charge me for it. They've already ordered the kit. The kit should be there today, hopefully, worst case tomorrow. So by the end of the week, I'll have my regular car back, and there's someone who needs this car, so I will be gifting it to them, and they'll have a car. They need one badly. They have two cars currently with no transmission. So I talked to him today, and I said, look, we'll just say it's still my car, and you can use it as long as you need to. So I think that'll be fine. So that's where we are right now. Weather-wise, we're back in the same pattern we were in before. The temperature's back down between 32 and 34 again, and the ground is slippery again. So it's bad, and what's even worse is the sun is going down now. So it's going to become a little bit colder. So overall, I think we're going to stay just above freezing. We just have to watch where we're going and how fast we're going, and just be careful and realize that I'm not just worried about myself sliding around. I'm worried about dumb people sliding around and hitting me as well. So when I went back into this casino, I did do some looking around at some other games and procedures that dealers use and stuff, and most of the time you don't gain much, but every once in a while you see a little nugget, and then you'll be able to use it later on. So unfortunately today I can't try to take advantage of anything. I don't have the time to be wasting. I'm gonna head back toward home, and we have one more stop minimum that we need to make. We'll see how that goes, and then I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I'm back. I just wanted to go over a few things. So this last place that I was in, their Tito slip system was down, so there was a huge line at the cashier, and I had chips to cash, and I'm like, no problem, I'll just cash it at the high limit cashier, and they had just closed that, so I ended up taking some chips with me, and a voucher. I saw a pit boss there that I haven't seen for a little while, and he was asking me, hey, where have you been? You know, I haven't seen you, you got to come in more often, and all this stuff, just like they know me. And I saw a host in there who doesn't even know my fake name, and she always comes up and gives me a hug and asks me how I'm doing and stuff like that. And she introduced me to her boss, didn't even say my name. It's so funny, so funny. But right now it's starting to rain here, so that is not good. Man, I had something else I wanted to go over, but I forgot it. So I need to stop and get some gas for my daily trip to the gas station, and I'll probably have to get gas again tomorrow morning when I leave home. So letting you go for now, and I'll be back soon. Alright guys, I am back. It is dark outside. I go into this place, medium busy, not too busy, but it's kind of busy in there. And I saw some friends of mine in there, 3 different people that I know. One of them was telling me that they're having this big drawing for a vehicle and cash and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't have any entries, I don't really come here very often. He's like, well, let's take a look. So we go over to the kiosk, and I use my card at this place just for slots. I don't play blackjack at this place. And we put it in the kiosk, and I've got something like 78,000 and change entries to this thing. And I said, he said, oh my gosh, I play all day, every day, and I've got 11,000, he says. And my point was, there might be 300 million entries in there for all we know. I mean, just because I've got 78,000 entries, that doesn't mean anything. And he's insisting, oh man, that's so many, and you have a good chance of winning. I'm like, I'm not going to be here for it. The drawing is on a weekend, and I'm home on weekends, except some Sunday nights that I go and do other things. So I'm not going to be there for that. I saw another couple friends and talked to them for a minute. And I'm actually learning their language right now, just as a hobby, just for something to do. So hopefully next time I see them, we can communicate a little bit better. I did go in and play some slots, and just wasn't having much luck. Really, the biggest thing was I really couldn't find anything to play. And although there were people in there filling the machines, there just wasn't opportunities to play. I played a couple okay plays and one good play, and I ended up ahead $61, but really there wasn't much that I could do. I was hoping that I could get food from a restaurant I really like at this place, but it's closed for some reason today, so that broke my heart a little bit. But what are you going to do? I ended up with a couple slices of pizza and a Monster drink, which not exactly the dinner of champions here, but what are you going to do? I can't believe how dark it is. All of a sudden, there's like, it must be cloudy because I see no moon at all. It is so dark. There are very few reflectors on this road, so just the center lane has reflectors here and there, and it is just pitch black. Not a lot of cars on the road right now, so just making my way through the rain. 37 degrees right now. So let me focus a little bit on this, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. I gotta say, I've been thinking about this lately. You know, when I started card counting, at that time, I was playing at a casino. I was already playing blackjack, and I was looking for something better. And I was playing a $50 minimum game. And that's why when I started card counting, I lasted a year, because they were used to me playing at those stakes. They were used to me winning and losing at those stakes. And there was no issue there. Since then, I haven't really changed my bets too much. So I used to maybe bet 50 to 250, 50 to 500, and that was my normal bet. And now I'm betting 50 to 500, 50 to 1,000, sometimes 100 to 1,000, 50 to 2,000, but it hasn't really changed that much. And I started thinking about, am I satisfied with the money that I'm making? Am I satisfied with the risk? Am I satisfied with all that? And I put myself in a position where my risk of ruin is pretty much zero most of the time, unless I go like 100 to 2,000 or more, and then it's not. But so I started thinking, do I want to start betting higher amounts to be able to make more money? And I started this whole big thing in my head about, okay, you start doing that, you start bringing more attention. Do you just go the complete degenerate route and start trying to slam them for huge amounts, or lose huge amounts? Do you want to be on the record? There's only one casino right now that knows my name, and I'd say 40 to 50% of the pit bosses don't know my name anymore. But I could get away with playing 15 or 20,000 there. But do I want to bring that attention? And I kind of feel like the answer should be no. Although I'm like the only person in card counting that I know that didn't start with red chipping and work their way up, that immediately went to the level that they're still at. I've been doing this now for about 4 years, almost 4 years, and I have yet to really raise my bets. Just something I've been thinking about lately, and I kind of feel like the answer should be no, unless I go somewhere where I can be anonymous and just fire real big, and I know for sure that they don't database. But I feel like I've got a pretty good thing going where I am, and I shouldn't do anything different, if that makes sense. Honestly, I'm shocked that I've lasted as long as I have in the places that I have, and that I've befriended people like I have. I hit two places more than any others, and they're the ones that I did the best at last year. And still, all of them feel bad for me because they think I'm a big loser. So, anyway, just something that I've been thinking about. Right now, I am heading toward home, and I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I have a friend right now that's in a nearby city, and basically his schedule for the next 3 days is opposite to mine. But I could make an exception tomorrow and go to where he is. But generally, Wednesday I go to a city where I have more opportunity. Do I want to give that up to go to where he is? And I'm really not sure yet. I want to look at the weather and all the different places I might go. Tomorrow, like I said, it's Wednesday. Thursday, I absolutely have to go to a certain place. I can't not go there, just because I have that value there that I'm picking up. Friday I can go anywhere, so I think okay, we'll see. Anyway, that's what's going on right now. For the week, we started off ahead a couple thousand, and then we had yesterday that was like plus 400 and something. I think like 1,400 today. So we're closing in on the goal for the week. It's only Tuesday, and I think for sure it's less than 1,000 away from our goal for the week. So maybe I can go ahead and push it like I planned this morning and try to go for 9,000 this week. The place I'm going Thursday, I could probably win 1,500 or 2,000, although I'd have a lot of trouble cashing. I'd have to just make another trip to that area to finish cashing, just because they're such sticklers about cashing out there, and they don't care if you call gaming, and they don't care if you call the police, because they want you to, because they want your name, and I don't really want to give that up. So somehow we're going to work together and team up on these casinos, take them to court, and really show them that they can't take advantage of us. They can't violate our civil rights. You know, my right to be anonymous. I'm not over 10,000, and even if I'm over 10,000, I don't have to give you ID. But when I'm trying to cash out 3,500, and you want me to call the police or get out without cashing any, I think that's wrong. So anyway, we'll get it all figured out. We're going to go ahead and try for the 9,000 this week. If you have any questions, comments, mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.